Supporters, quote, had Secretary Clinton known of any concerns about her email setup at the time, she would have taken steps to address them, end quote. And, quote, we are confident that voters will look at the full picture of everything she has done throughout her career. Let's bring in Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox senior judicial analyst. So when they go into the polling booth, do they get a syllabus? Is that how that works? Because I'm going to think that they're going to go on the last headline they saw.
Well, look, this statement from which you just quoted by John Podesta, who's the chair of her campaign, the general overall chair of the campaign, marks the first time that they have publicly acknowledged taking it seriously, that these email problems could pose a serious danger to her campaign, could pose a serious danger to her personal freedom. But it also marks a difference in tone. Prior to this, Mrs. Clinton was mocking the FBI and mocking the Inspector General. She's not doing that any longer. She is trying to say, we take it seriously, we want it behind us. And by the way, we didn't do anything different from Colin Powell. That is a serious mistake on their part. General Powell acknowledged that he used a personal email account 2 to 3 dozen times simply to respond to requests from aides. It didn't carry any confidential, secret, or top secret material.
Well, but the other difference that I understood too, Judge, is that we're talking about a personal email account. In her case, it was like gangsta. She had her own server in her house that nobody could physically get their hands on, which is different.
She migrated, or she paid Brian Pagliano, her former aide, $5,000.
Who has immunity to talk now to the
FBI. To migrate 2 accounts, 2 government accounts to her email server, a public government account to which you or I or anybody watching us now could have emailed her, and the secret account, which carried confidential, secret, and top secret materials. That migration of the secret account is most likely the act of espionage for which the FBI is investigating her. Simply stated, the failure to safeguard national security secrets that have been entrusted to you. That is nowhere near what General Powell did. General Powell, maybe 2 to 3 dozen emails. Mrs. Clinton, 66,000 emails, including 2,200 that were in that confidential, secret, or top secret category.
And that's why I call it gangsta. Espionage. Talk to me now, though, about going forward with this memo to supporters. And so the question is, are voters going to look at it in total, which is Podesta wants them to study up Buttercup and just know the whole case and make or do, like most people, we just take it based on what we knew last? She went before the FBI. How did that go? And then you go into the voting booth.
Well, she refused to cooperate with the Inspector General. The Inspector General interviewed her 3 predecessors, Madeleine Albright, Condoleezza Rice, and Colin Powell, and their senior aides at the time. Neither Mrs. Clinton nor her senior aides would talk to the Inspector General.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because their lawyer probably said, you got more problems with the FBI than you do with the Inspector General. Whatever you say to the Inspector General is going to make its way to the FBI. But that defies Mrs. Clinton's publicly stated remarks. I can't wait to talk to government officials about this.
Government officials, could they include the President of the United States? Could they call the President? Could they subpoena him?
I am fairly confident that some of those top secret emails that Mrs. Clinton sent and received came from and went back to the president. If he didn't know where they were going, and if he's not a witness in this case, I don't know who else might be. So this thing is about to come to an end. As soon as the New Jersey and California primaries are over on Tuesday, she will have her interview. She says she's looking forward to it. She can't possibly be looking forward to it. They know a lot more about this case, the people interrogating her, than she does.
How much pressure is there on the Attorney General Loretta Lynch right now?
There will soon be a great deal of pressure from some of the most important professionals in the FBI to allow prosecutors to present this evidence to a grand jury and let the grand jury decide whether or not to indict.
We just went to a chilling place. If President Obama exchanged some of those top secrets, and you're saying it's not that big of an if, but I haven't seen the evidence. If that happened, and would he be compelled to testify? Would he have to be subpoenaed? That puts Loretta Lynch in a very, well, would you call it a conflict of interest?
Well, I'll tell you about another conflict. If he knows that his own emails are in there, can he participate in the decision whether or not this case goes to the grand jury, or should he step aside and let Loretta Lynch call it? Theoretically, under the law, Attorney General Lynch should call it. This should not reach the White House.
Is this where you thought we'd be right now?
No. No, I didn't think we'd be here now. I thought that somehow this would go away. But the more bad news that comes out about Hillary, the more serious this is. She hasn't had any good news on the email front in the past 8 months. It's a continuing cascade of bad legal news for her. Her legal situation presently is grave or worse than grave, and she's starting to take it seriously.
And yet her